marriage takes an insane amount of work to please your spouse. It takes an insane amount of work. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Welcome to This Beautiful Struggle.
I'm excited about it.
We finally have gotten to a point where we're just ready to share unfiltered our lives. Infertility is tough. Adoption is tough. But then even talking about like me losing my dad, you losing your mom within a couple of years of each other, our kids losing grandparents, your career and my career, and then making the ultimate decision to move to Nevada and what that looks like, moving away from all of your friends and family and all of those things.
Hopefully people can resonate with our story and just letting people know that they're not alone.
It's not the norm, and infertility is something that people don't ever want to talk about. Our family is such a hot mess, Express. I mean, this is just what it is, right? Like, so we don't have to front anymore.
It's been a long time coming.
Welcome back to This Beautiful Struggle. I'm Erin.
And I'm KC.
What are we going to talk about today? What you want to talk about?
Let's talk about happy wife, happy life.
What does that mean?
That means that when your wife's happy, your life is good.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
But is that the case?
Yeah. I'm kidding.
No, that's not always the case. So, well, let's just really dive into what does that term actually mean and kind of just break it down.
Well, who made up the term? I don't know.
I don't know. If someone knows, please put it in the comments. Where did that term originate from, or how did that term start? But I'm sure everyone, including men, have heard happy wife, happy life. I think every man, when they're engaged or when they're about to be married, has gotten that piece of advice thrown at them from probably a lot of people.
It's a good piece of advice, though.
Happy wife, happy life. But it doesn't, it just mentions the wife being happy. It doesn't mention anything else about your life.
Well, I think, again, it's advice to you, right? It's advice to the man. Happy wife, happy life. So it's not the advice to you, right? The advice to me might be different. I don't think anyone
What's
gives...
the reverse one for women?
Happy spouse, happy house.
No, that's not the reverse. That's a better way of saying it. I'm talking about what the reverse is.
What do you mean the reverse?
Because you're saying this is just for a man. I'm saying, you said this is a piece of advice for men, right? Happy wife.
Yeah, and so for women...
Wife. So what is it? Happy man, happy husband, happy what?
It's happy spouse, happy house.
You're missing what I'm saying.
No, but that's what it is. No, you just don't agree. You just don't agree. That's what it is. Happy spouse, happy house. That is your saying for men. Happy spouse, happy house.
That is not the men saying. The men saying will be something personalized for men. It would be like, if this says happy wife, this one would say happy husband.
Well, nothing rhymes with husband.
We'll make something rhyme with husband. I got to stick up for the men out here. But no. So let's, because I really, and then also it doesn't.
Let's ask ChatGPT. You want me to ask ChatGPT? Let's come up with the saying. We're going to come up with the saying while we talk about this deeper, because I do think happy wife, happy life definitely means. Or we can ask Siri. Hey, Siri, what is the opposite of happy wife, happy life? She said the opposite of happy wife, happy life could be unhappy wife, unhappy life.
Or no, you should ask her, what's the male version?
Okay.
I asked Chad over here, and it said there's nothing really, but you could always say happy man, happy land, or happy man, happy plan. But it's not.
I like that.
Happy man, happy plan.
Or you said happy man, happy land?
It's both, yeah.
Oh, okay. But so let's kind of talk about it. Does happy wife, happy life, does that statement mean that husbands, you are to make sure that your wives are happy first before anything else?
No, I definitely don't agree. I was also trying to see what the internet had to say about this conversation. This Psychology Today says, why happy life is baloney. Anyway, okay. So ask me the question again.
So that whole term, happy wife, happy life, does that mean that you are to put your wife's happiness before your own, or before anything else can be happy? Your wife has to be happy first.
No, I mean, first of all, I think that everyone will have their different interpretations of what that really means. And I think that for every person, it could be very different. You know, when I hear happy wife, happy life, I agree with that, right? Like, if I'm happy, then, you know, you'll be happy because I, in turn, will, you know, be more pleasurable to be around, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But no, I mean, I don't think that we should only focus on the wife's happiness in a relationship by any means. And I definitely don't think that you should, like, both people should be happy. How do you have a marriage, you know what I mean? Like a long lasting, amazing marriage if both husband and wife are not happy? You know, that doesn't mean that you're going to be happy all of the time. You definitely go through periods of your life where you're not happy. I mean, I've been through periods where it's not happy wife, happy life. It's mad Aaron. I don't even know. You know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, I think that it's just one of those slogans that people say because women are used to being emotional people, and I think is there's almost this not stereotype, but there's like this generalization of as long as you keep the woman happy, then you will live this fruitful life. But yes, I agree with it, but I disagree with it at the same time. What does that message tell you? Because you seem more disturbed by that happy wife, happy life.
It's not that I'm disturbed by it. I mean, I agree with you. I feel like your wife should be happy. But I don't like the fact that it singles out the wife and it makes it seem like only her happiness is important. Because there's no other saying for, there's no mention of the husband, there's no mention of family, there's no mention of children. It's just happy wife, happy life. As if, as long as she's happy, then you're going to have a happy life. Screw everybody else. Because that's how it comes off. But like I said, I agree with you. Your wife should be happy. But I feel like everybody's happiness is important. And I feel like your own personal happiness isn't based on somebody else. You're in charge of your own happiness. And that's kind of how I view it. And you saying about the happy spouse, happy house, that's definitely a much better saying. But like you said, I don't agree with it. I understand the meaning behind it. But do I want my wife to be happy? Absolutely. Do I want to be happy? Absolutely. Do I want everybody to be happy? Of course.
Well, and you also deserve to be happy. So I think that this is funny. So a lot of people, you know, use ChatGPT for everything. And I have this love-hate relationship with AI, as you know, just because I feel like it takes away from just the true, like it's not reality in all circumstances. However, you know, as of late, I've used ChatGPT kind of as my therapist in situations when I want to respond in a way, but then I also want someone to talk sense into me. And even if it's in like an argument with you, I will go to ChatGPT and I will ask. So if you guys use ChatGPT, try using it as your therapist. It honestly gives the best advice. So as he was talking, I went to ChatGPT and I said, Chat, what do we think about the saying happy wife, happy life? And Chat says, that saying happy wife, happy life is one of the phrases that's catchy and easy to remember, but it carries layers worth unpacking depending on how it's used or interpreted. And so he gives, you know, my Chat is a guy. And so he gives me these pros, why people like it. It acknowledges emotional balance at home. And this can kind of help us kind of further discuss this. Encourages attentiveness, simple reminder to nurture the relationship. But the cons of it are it can feel one-sided, which we're discussing right now. It reinforces stereotypes, which I agree. And it overlooks mutuality. Right? A strong partnership is about both people being heard, valued, and fulfilled. Happy spouse, peaceful house, or mutual respect. Oh, mutual respect, no regret. Let's use that. I like that.
I've never heard
Might be more balanced alternatives. And then my chat guy says, my take, I think happy wife, happy life is fine when it's used playfully and with love, as long as it's backed by real mutual respect and both partners are equally invested in each other's happiness. But in serious conversations about marriage or long-term relationships, It's a little too simplistic and potentially dismissive of the shared responsibility in maintaining a healthy connection.
Like that.
Look at that. Listen,
I like
shout
that.
out to my chat. Shout out to my chat. My chat might be different than your chat. Okay, so we don't have the same one. But anyway, I actually really like that. Mutual respect, no regret.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
We got to use that one because I actually do really agree with that. I do agree that there is not one side of a relationship that is more important than the other side of the relationship. Your happiness, is a direct reflection of me in 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 a marriage. I really feel that way. Like if you are unhappy, then that means that I'm doing something wrong or that I haven't.
Not necessarily.
Well, not wrong. I mean, I'm just saying in our marriage, if you are unhappy in our marriage, then there is a need that you have that I have not been able to meet. And it's me as your wife's responsibility to figure out what that is. But of course, that also has like, that rides on you also being able to be emotionally mature to be able to say, you've done this, or you know what I mean? I'm not being fulfilled in this way. Because again, as we've talked about in other episodes, we can't read each other's minds here, right? Like, so if you are unhappy in your marriage with me, and I know that, and you know what I mean? It is my responsibility to at least try and do everything that I can to fix that. And vice versa.
No.
That's my belief.
No, I agree with everything you just said.
That's my belief.
I definitely think that it is, like I said earlier, it's not my responsibility to regulate your happiness because that's your happiness. So that's something that you should be doing. But as a spouse, you should be doing everything you can to meet your partner's needs, and you should be trying to make them happy because, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you want your spouse to be happy? So that's just how I look at it. But I don't know. That chat was crazy because
You see why I use him as my therapist? He gives me good advice.
What's his name? Chat?
Fernando.
Fernando.
That's his name.
No, but that all the things that I was thinking of with that whole phrase is exactly what it said. It just seems very one-sided. It seems like nobody else's feelings or happiness matters because we're only mentioning the wife. We're not mentioning anybody else. That phrase is thrown around a lot by men. That's who I hear that phrase come from most often, is men. And I think oftentimes men say it like, that's some good advice. Like, it's like, well, and I always be like, so I'm just going to neglect myself so she can be happy? Like it just never sat well with me.
I think it's wisdom though, right? Like, so I think that one, there is a playful component of it for sure. I think that you naturally are someone who, I don't want to say misses the cues on things like that, but I think that you take things very seriously that aren't meant to be taken seriously. I think that it's very playful, like Fernando was saying, right? Happy wife, happy life. And I think that's been around for so long that you just say it. But I think that also comes from a place of wisdom, like you said, if men are giving you that advice. I mean, my dad would always give me advice from his place of wisdom. You know what I mean? That'd be like, I didn't think of it like that. And I think when you hear happy wife, happy life, and you take that in a way that is just not playful, I think you have to really think about the advice that someone's giving you. They're not saying that your wife's, I would never take it as that your wife's happiness should come above yours. I think it's just, from what they maybe have learned in their relationships and, stuff like that. I mean, there's not a saying per se, you know what I mean, that other people have given me, but it also has been keep your husband sexually pleased. You know what I mean? Like, keep your wife, happy, but make sure that you're giving it to him 4, 5, 6 times a week. You know what I mean? So I think that this one is just this playful, catchy, phrase. And then there's not one for other things. But I do think for the most part, it's meant to be playful, the phrase itself. But I think when you definitely digest that and we have conversations like this about it, I think that's important too, because no, that's not what marriage is. Marriage is not just one-sided and one person happy and that's all that matters. Marriage takes an insane amount of work to please your spouse. It takes an insane amount of work. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, I definitely think that it's playful. I don't know if I gave off the impression that I didn't think that it's playful. I do. I just think that there's just better ways of saying that expression. But I don't know. Maybe I just take it for granted. But I feel like, as a husband, like I don't think I should have to tell you you should want your wife to be happy. I don't know. Maybe am I taking that for granted? I'm like, well, of course. You don't have to. Of course, I want my wife to be happy. Who doesn't want their wife to be happy?
but I also think, with that being said, like, I think that women, like, we are also known to be, not all women, but, there are women that are known to be, naggy and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just not annoying, but like, needy and just like not trusting, like they lack their own confidence. And so, I don't know, just very untrusting of their partners and you know what I mean? And then just jealous, and all of these things. And so I also feel like, when men are giving that advice, it's like, just keep your wife happy, because if they're not happy, then they can be all of these other things too, right? Like, and so, I mean, fill in the blanks of what those words are. And I feel like that can go both ways. But I mean, it's women who usually exhibit the emotions of needy and jealous and all of those things. And not to say that there's not needy and jealous men out there, but that definitely is a personality trait and you know what I mean, that you see in relationships more amongst women than men, is what I feel like. So, again, I think that, but, Fernando, what was it again? What was the thing that he told us?
Mutual respect, no regret.
Yeah, mutual respect, no regrets. I'm going to ask him, any other sayings that we can replace? I'm going to ask. Because we can stop saying things like happy wife, happy life. And we can, now, especially because here's the other thing. Like, when my parents, were young and were my age, I feel like divorce and all of those things, and I know we've talked about this a bunch, but like those weren't on the forefront of everything, right? Like you actually worked through your relationship issues and you stayed together. Nowadays, it's so easy. You see it amongst all of the headlines and everything. You see it constantly. Like if it doesn't work out, just get a divorce, right? Like, or if that's not working out, take a break or just leave him or XYZ. But maybe we need to like put out into the universe other sayings that are, you know what I mean? Like, even though that these are playful, there are, I'm sure, people out there who really, have been given that advice, happy wife, happy life, and live their life that way, And what I mean is actually taking that seriously.
Yeah. I don't think, well, let me not say that because I can't speak for everybody, but I've been told that, but I didn't take it too serious. But I know there might be some people who are, I just don't like the saying because it's just the what is the word, the connotation around the
Fernando.
She's really calling this thing Fernando.
Yeah, I call him Fernando all the time. When I talk to him, I call him Fernando. Happy spouse, peaceful house. Okay. When both hearts are full, the home is whole. When both hearts are full. That doesn't. Okay. But you see, like, happy spouse, happy house, that actually rhymes. Strong partner, strong partnership. That's not catchy. No. Love thrives where respect lives. That's weird. You could see if it was respect. Love thrives where respect lives. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, even in marriage. Let's say that. Teamwork makes the dream work. Because that's the real thing. Like, marriage is a partnership. You literally have to, each individual person has to treat it as their baby. Right? Like, that literally, I don't really like these. Happy partner, fewer arguments. These don't rhyme, Fernando.
She's looking for something catchy. I think the overall message is, husbands, you should be doing everything you can within reason to make your wife happy. And wives, vice versa, the same.
Yeah, it's mutual. Like, kind of another thing.
Absolutely.
It is. If you have, it should be mutual respect on both sides, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, you are important to me. And so because you are important to me, then I am going to do everything that I can in my power to, ensure that you know what I mean? And just that to you, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give you what you're giving me. And then wherever we fall short, like, then that's on us as partners to work on that and to fix that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, this marriage is hard. And, I say this all the time because it really is hard. And I know some people might be like, how is it that hard? Like, it is hard when you take two lives and you mend them together. And then now you have to make adult decisions together when maybe you were raised differently than what I was raised. And, and that's a lot of the case. But, at the end of the day, like, marriage is great because you have built-in best friends. Like, I'm so thankful for you because I literally have this built-in best friend when everything comes crashing down outside of, what I mean, I still have this best friend that I can go to, what I mean, to help walk me through and support me and be there so I can cry on your shoulder and you can talk sense into me. I mean, just yesterday I was like losing it and yelling and screaming, and Casey's just so calm. Fucking crazy. And he's like, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. You know what I mean? But like, I think it's just so important to have that. So to answer your question once and for all, happy wife, happy life, to me is just a fun, catchy phrase. It does not mean that my husband is not just important as myself, and that you deserve to be happy, happy husband, happy life.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
So there it is. Mic drop. Happy husband, happy life. I know it doesn't rhyme, but there it is. Mutual respect, no regrets. You learned that right here on this beautiful struggle. So don't be going out there and using my man Fernando and saying, oh my God, I have this new saying. No, Fernando gave us that saying right here on this beautiful struggle.
Yes, he did. We're about to copyright that too. So don't be trying to steal it.
But anyway, good talk.
Yeah, it was a good talk. Glad we cleared the air on that. And we'd love to know, what do you guys think about that saying, happy wife, happy life? Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Is it just playful? Or does it have some real true meaning that you feel like husbands need to listen to? So let us know what you think. Send us a DM or drop a comment down because we do read all the comments. So let us know. Anything else?
Nope. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.